now. Hello, my name is Alun, my pronouns are he, him, and today I'm running another in an extended series of my own PbtA game in development, Eotenweard. This game is being run, as are all my games pretty much, as part of the Open Hearth gaming community's monthly calendar. If you don't know about Open Hearth, please search Open Hearth Gaming Community and come try out our game culture, because we think it's great. And it's probably too late to get into a game on this coming weekend starting tomorrow, the 10th of November. It's probably too late to get into a game this weekend as part of our shared Hearth kind of taster weekend where you can come and try out our game culture, but maybe next time. So I'm not going to say any more about the game. It's set in the Dark Ages. Go back to session 1 if you want to get the full kind of setup. But we are waiting on one character who's delayed, one player who's delayed, but we're going to make a start. And we have just come in sight of the settlement in Elmet, the Kingdom of Elmet in the north of England in about 600 AD. The settlement of Caicaester. And we need to define a bit about what it looks like. So we are going to start with the arriving and leaving tab, signs and portents. When you first come in sight of a settlement, the fates will name it and ask each hero to answer a question that will help define the reason their supernatural patrons have guided their footsteps here. This is an opportunity for players to begin shaping the nature of the darkness in this place. So I think I've done 1, 2, I think this time I start with Caddoc. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. So hero's answers may be purely descriptive of what you can see in front of you in this settlement, or allegorical. They may refer to dreams, visions, whatever that you've had that has drawn you here. But what hints at the settlement's past glory or strength, Caddoc?
We're in with the hill folk, right? Just
I thought you're right. It's Caicaester in the mountains. Sorry, you're quite right. You're not in Elmet. My apologies.
Fine. So I think what hints to the past glories is there are these immense oaks that have been clearly grown and pruned along the way, almost like some sort of a triumphant street or something, that they are accompanying you. You ride through them and you see these ancient gnarled trees that loom over you, basically. There seems to be some intention here. There has to be, right? This just doesn't grow like that.
No, I think that's great. And we've never talked about season. What season do you think it is, Sabine?
I think it's fall because
then you can have those colors.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, you picked it out at the back there. Yeah, so there's this almost kind of cathedral-like approach to the settlement. I like that a lot. Thank you. Let me move along to Finn. Finn, what hints at the settlement's current woe? What evidence is there that something is wrong here?
I think as we're walking down that that avenue with the ancient oaks, there's an odd kind of mist on the ground, very low-lying mist, and a smell of something like putrid in that mist, like something diseased, and all of our we recoil from it instinctually.
A ground-hugging putrid mist. Sorry, I'm going to sneeze again. My wife says I always do it in 3, so there may be another one coming. Just watch for it. Let me go round to Black Gel. Paul for Black Gel. Why are you worried or frightened or threatened by this place? I mean, it could be that mist. I don't know. But is there anything else? Is there something you feel that worries you? Oh, you are muted if you're about to say something.
So what makes me uneasy?
Yes.
I think it is a let's have a solar eclipse.
Are we, I mean, give me a sense of this. Is this solar eclipse, happening as you walk down this avenue?
Yeah, I think basically the as we're going down this avenue, you suddenly see the sun start sort of partitioning off, and I think as we reach the entrance to the town, the village, the mist is thicker, and then the sun blacks out.
Will, thanks for joining. We've just arrived at Caicaester. You've arrived at the perfect opportunity, because so far we have, as a past glory for this settlement, a grand avenue of ancient gnarled oak trees. It's autumn. The canopy is a wonderful, gold and copper. Unfortunately, we also have, sorry, I just put do not disturb up. We also have a ground-hugging putrid mist, which thickens as you get close to the settlement. And as you approach the settlement, the sun begins to experience an eclipse. Right?
Yeah.
Why do you think your patron considers this place worth saving?
If I'm answering on behalf of Solinus's patron, which is a different patron than the rest of everybody else's, right?
Well, apart from Caddock.
Apart from Caddock, yes. I'm going to say it is because I set out for the monastery to learn, as we established. But my way became shrouded in mists, and I followed the path. Yet somehow it has led me here. And what can that be but God's hand directing me?
Right.
Which I know doesn't give you much to do with the actual settlement itself.
That's fine. But I think it's a wonderful bit of narrative to explain why you're here when we didn't think you were going to be. So thank you for that. So yeah, so you can't be certain, but something specific has drawn you here. Because you're right, you were heading in an entirely different direction.
Well, when the mists cloud your eyes and the path gets lost, all you can do is trust in God, and God has led me here.
Fine. So then let's each of you create a significant NPC then. So I've put a tab called Caicaester in the keeper. Again, I think it is Caddock to go first this time. So I am looking at a descriptor and their place in the village or hall.
Let's see, what didn't we have so far? Oh, I think I want to have a grower, right? That kind of makes sense. And this is a proud grower, because this is and do they have British names or Saxon names?
They have British names. In these kind of liminal areas, wilderness areas like these mountains, they are old British in the sense that this is where the old gods still have some traction compared to the Christ god or Woden the All-Father. Okay,
so I think I would like to go with Teleri, however you will pronounce that.
Teleri.
And she is a proud grower, and she is a kind of custodian of these oak trees, right?
Oh, fine. So add her to the village, and let me move along from Caddock to Finn. Finn, who would you like to add as a significant NPC?
Let's see. I think I want to add an aging champion.
Right. So
And
that's great.
their
Aging
name?
champion it is, and you know, pick a name or something that, you know, those names are not meant to be limiting. If it sounds like that, it's fine.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
add
I'll
them
just-
to the hall.
Will do. We'll call him Graham.
Fine, fine. Then all the way around to Black Gel. Paul, which NPC do you want to have as a potential significant
Oh well,
actor?
let's throw a few dice. That will always help. One, so we're in that category. So a bitter. Let's go for somebody in the village. A bitter outcast.
Oh,
Hmm.
right. And then indicate male, female, give them a name.
Okay.
And while
Bedo.
you're doing, fine,
Male.
add them to the village, and then we come round to Solinus. Will, who do you want to have as a potential encounter NPC in the village?
I'm torn between adjectives here. Dangerous, vicious, or wicked. For yeah. For a loon.
Well, take your
Yep.
pick.
Yeah. Which one do we think is you know what? I think dangerous is the most interesting one there. You know, because it
Fine, a dangerous loon.
yeah.
Male or female? Or him, he, her, she, her, he, him, they, them? What's your preference?
What do we have so far? Are they all chaps, or we have a?
I think Tilleri is a she, her, unless.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She is.
I'll have
And
a.
Bran, I think, is probably he, him.
Yeah. We will. You know, 50-50 then. We'll have a female, dangerous female loon. Are we a Saxon or British account?
This is a British. It's in the hill country.
Okay, so this is I think Fionn.
Fine, fine. And then back to Caddock in terms of nearby places of interest. And of course, you could choose, you know, this grand avenue of trees if you wanted to. We can tweak forest one way or another. But do you want Caddock to pick up on a descriptor or the nature of the place?
Sorry.
Nearby places of interest. Are you
Oh,
interested
yes.
in going for a
Oh,
descriptor
yes,
or
yes,
a place?
yes. I think what I want is something menacing or haunted.
Menacing.
Menacing's fine.
Menacing. Okay, Finn, a menacing what?
Let's go ahead with forest since we're on the tree mode.
Okay. And is this so this avenue of trees, is this part of this menacing forest?
I don't know what Sabine was thinking, but I'm thinking that it's not, that the forest is kind of the surrounding area. And the trees are more, they're more kind of they've been planted, it's more
Yeah.
domesticated agriculture. Yeah.
Fine. Okay, so we've got a menacing forest. We come around to Black Gel. Do you want to go with descriptor or place?
Let's go with descriptor. Let's throw 2 dice and see what we get. 6 and 2, treacherous.
Okay, Will, on behalf of Solinus, where might you go that is treacherous?
We have a menacing forest. A treacherous. We're in Caicaester, which is sort of central.
It's old gods.
Yeah, so it's hill country as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
So the hill folk. A treacherous. Mountain pass.
Oh, right.
Not
Treacherous mountain pass.
mountain passes in England, in the British Isles, Alan. But for dramatic purposes, of course.
Indeed, indeed.
Yeah.
You know, we know that Tolkien was writing about the Lake District, whereas in fact they filmed it in New Zealand. Scale is a bugger. So fine, that's great. So that's an interesting cast of characters. So we have our initial shaping for the location, and we have points of interest and people of interest. If the heroes present themselves at the Settlements Hall, they have an opportunity to restate or emphasize their look or remind the table of the breadth of their calling. I think we're fairly familiar with one another. I don't we need to do a lot of that. But do you want to approach the hall, or do you want to go around the village? I.e., where do you want the inciting incident to take place?
I think in the village we haven't done that yet.
Fine, fine. So while you are you arrive at the village, you know, people notice the strangers. Probably some woman dressed in rags is kind of looks up under her eyebrows at you as if to say, "Who are you?" And so let's see what our inciting incident is in this place with ancient oaks, a putrid mist, and a solar eclipse in process. Again, I think it's Caddock to go first on this one. Oh no, agree. So yeah, what do you want it to be? Is there a heated conversation between some of the characters you've described? Is there something supernatural that occurs? Or does a door burst open, so somebody bursts out of somewhere or into somewhere? Or is something even more flavorful and interesting happening? Which of those attracts us? Paul was quite keen to have it in the village, so let me go to Solinus. Will, what are you thinking? What do you want as the basis for our inciting incident?
The current woe being hinted at is the fogs and the mist, right? Like the
Yes.
yeah. I want there to be a villager fleeing for their life from another villager who is loping after them through the mists, almost shambling, one might say. I would like, I'll just lay it out on the table. My suggestion is that we do some sort of zombie adjacent type thing in this village. So that's what I'm proposing. I'm happy for anything else.
Okay. Is one of our significant NPCs one of these people?
Yeah. I mean, I'd go with that. Yeah. Why not? Yeah.
So is it our proud grower, our aging champion, our bitter outcast, or dangerous loon who is being pursued?
I think it's the outcasts, because they are an outcast and have therefore not been able to have not been helped by other members of the village. In fact, perhaps we see them banging on someone's door. That's the noise that we hear at first, and then they don't open to them, and then we see that figure coming through the mists towards them.
Okay, let me go from Solinus to Caddock. Caddock, what do you see or hear? So we've had that bit of description of what is happening, someone being pursued through this thickening mist just as the moon is obscuring the sun. What do you hear that is a concern to you?
I think what I hear is like this zombie makes some groans and some shoveling noises and some whoa. And we hear more of these coming from the mists around us, right?
There are others.
That seems fairly worrying.
The mist. Okay. what do you feel, Finn, when this happens?
What do I feel when we hear the voices?
Well, that voice groans and
Groans. I think Finn's not used to feeling afraid, but I think he feels afraid, and there's a chill running up his spine, and he feels like his arms and legs don't want to move, like a certain paralysis entering him.
that. Okay.
Well, I think you.
And then round to Black Gel. Do you see? I mean, I'm not going to ask you who looks most worried, because I think probably our bitter outcast is looking most worried. Is there anyone who seems less worried by this? I'm not quite certain who would, but I'm just curious.
Yeah, I think Theon doesn't seem worried.
Okay. So Theon, who is our dangerous loon. Now, is she not worried because she's a loon, or is she not worried because she has a motive connected to this? And I think probably at this point I will define a cowardly lord. Cowardly lord. YOLO. And I think probably what we see is cries from the villagers. Night comes early. Eternal night comes. And a bell being rung from the great hall, and Bran, the aging champion, standing at the hall doorway shouting, "Run for your homes!" And he calls once, then he slams the hall door, leaving everyone except our bitter outcast. Where is she? Where is he? Bedo and Fionn, the dangerous loon, the only other people on the streets, so to speak, as this shambling figure emerges pursuing Bedo. I think I'm going to start here with Finn. Has already described himself as being kind of just shocked, frozen for a moment, so I'm going to come to Finn last. I think I'm going to come to Caddoc, given your, supposed need to protect people.
Is this a good time to do, before more things get described? A couple of people have got start session moves.
They have. I was going to let the inciting incident run, but maybe that's a good idea, because it's not like there's anything more to be described, is there? So what about those starter session moves? Enemy of God, Cadog?
Yep, I will do the enemy of God. And I have to describe something dishonorable that I did because my God asked me to, right?
Yes.
Okay, so what I will describe here is, what was his name? Father Boniface, looking at Cadog and saying, "No, you have been sworn to obey." And Cadog says, "Well, I know, but I have a higher purpose now. I have a higher calling. I cannot stay. I have to follow this. God calls me." And Cadog says, "If you go, you don't need to ever come back." Cadog looks sad, but yeah, he leaves behind the monastery of Saint Adrian, yeah. Which he has not told so far anybody and will not. But yeah, well.
Well, I think this is a good time for God to appear to you in the shape of Father Boniface, because I notice you are currently sitting on a favor with the Christ God of -5.
Yes.
So I'm gonna burn one of those debts. And Father Boniface is going to appear in the mist. The mist just congeal into the shape of Father Boniface. I don't know if everybody else can see them, but you can see him. And Boniface says, your calling is to obey the word of God, and you have not done so. You're going to roll with disadvantage, but that debt drops from 5 to 4.
Okay. So I roll the enemy of God. Should I roll, roll it now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And I roll it with thingy thing. I roll with steel. Well, that's nice. I have an advance hanging around.
You do.
Just saying. I will not just up my steel just because it's funny. I will just roll, and that's see how that goes. Come on, dice. Okay, it's a 4. It's a 6. Well,
it's
nice.
A 6. On a 6 minus, you were unworthy of aid. Oh God, a debt. Oh, life's a bitch.
Yeah.
In the hope he notices your desire to do his bidding. And Father Boniface says, you will get no help from me until you earn it. And then the mists. Perhaps as Bedo runs through the mists, they disperse. I don't think seeming human is relevant yet, because I don't think there's anyone to have seemed human to, Finn. And I think that's the last of the starter session moves. So, Caddock, that kind of transfixes you for a moment, so I'll come back to you in a bit. I think probably the next person likely to react to this is Solinus. He's a rogue, he's formerly not a very nice man, got his wits about him. Solinus, what do you do?
Can I flesh out that Fionn is perched atop like some sort of small construct, like a sort of, cackling, not cackling, yes, but like kind of like Batman, Spider-Man-y kind of crouch, like perched, like staring at the mist.
I'd like to have Fionn perched on the crux of the small church. Well, no, we're not Christian here. It can't be a church.
Well?
No, on a hut. Or do you want to on the hall roof?
Oh. Sure. Yeah, perched up on the whole roof. Yeah. Yeah.
Because this is old school Celtic. Most buildings are round. So yeah, she's perched up there. Holding onto the center pole. Just enjoying herself.
Yeah. With an ambiguous smile on that face.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is she smiling because she likes what happened, or is she just because she's a loon? And what are you going to do, Solinus?
Seeing this panicked man Beddock running through pursuit, I will raise I'll unsling my bow and yell out to Beddock, over here, friend, this way.
I don't think I'll make you roll for that, because any port in a storm, as far as Beddock is concerned at the moment, he kind of responds to the sound, just runs towards the sound.
Yeah, and then I guess what I'll do is I'll peer into the mist past him. Or, I'd be happy to divert whatever to Black Gel, actually. I'm fine with that.
I'll go to Black Gel first. I'll come round to you. So, Black Gel, what do you do?
I think I stare up at this Theon, and we see her perched there. And we can definitely see now she's filed her teeth, because that's pretty dangerous. Bad dentistry. But she's filed her teeth and they look evil and rotting, and she begins to cackle, and maybe that's a bit fearful, but I then start erupting in laughter, loud, barrelous, gut-busting laughter. So I would like to act the capering fool.
Fine. When you act the fool, reveal some aspect of your life before you were touched. Before you roll plus soul.
I think it's very much me on the beach of northeastern England, looking rag-torn as if I've just come off a shipwreck. But it is that receding mist that looks quite similar to the mist we are in. And I sort of just walk out of the mist with the same sort of laughter that that Theon is is cackling.
So we talked before about you coming ashore at Bebenber, didn't we? So
Yes.
is this walked out of a mist
Mysterious mist.
on the Bebenber sands? Yeah, I like that. I like that. Whoa. So yes, let's have you go with Capering Fool then. Roll plus soul.
I have 1 in soul, so what could go wrong? Quite a lot.
Quite a lot as it happens. So on a 6 mark, you attract attention rather than avoiding it, which places you at disadvantage until their notice shifts.
Oh, I think that's fair enough. I mean,
I think that's fair enough. If I was a zombie, I would go to the cackling fool. And so this whatever this is that was pursuing Bedo veers away. You start cackling, and this thing comes out of the mist at you.
Oh, I think I've addressed the challenge with irrationality here.
I think you have. You can tick that one now. Yeah. So you know, we've said zombie, but what exactly emerges from the mist, Black Gel?
It is a
human?
zombie. What did you say?
Is is it human? Is it a dead human? Is it?
I think it is. It's as if people have been lashed together. So it's larger than a single person. It's a few people seemingly. I'll leave it up to others to. They could be physically lashed together, or maybe they're sort of melded together. But it's a large construct.
So parts of different people to make a larger than human thing. Yeah. And so I guess that this may have been put together in ways that are not naturally the way a human would look. So maybe the head is in the middle of this construct.
Oh, very good.
As it comes towards you. Well, okay, then let's have you confront it. Unless you want to run from it. What do you do, Black Gel? Or something else. I don't know.
I think I really do need to confront it because I've been laughing. I don't think any other move's going to really. Yeah, you can't sort of stand there and laugh and then run away.
No, that's fair. That's fair. So it's got a couple of defenses, well, several defenses. One of them is no obvious
weak
organ. Yeah, exactly. There's no vulnerable organ. And the other one is many-limbed. So which of those are you looking to avoid being a problem to you?
I think the many limbs.
So what do we see you doing to kind of get past these many limbs? Because maybe it's got 3 arms bound to it.
Yeah, well, I've only got a small knife, so I think this is me trying to duck under these many limbs that are sort of flailing. Of course, they're not attached properly, so they flail in weird directions, etc. But I'm rolling at disadvantage anyway, and I haven't got
and I think this is steel because it sounds like it's a physical challenge.
I haven't got particularly good steel. Not a bad roll actually.
No.
But I still haven't got good steel.
Oh right. I thought they might be just a +1 in there somewhere. Okay.
No.
So on a 6
5.
Oh, I see. Right. Okay. So it's solidly 6-. You take harm, and they choose 1 from the 7+ list. So you take harm. The harm you're going to take. This is a larger than mortal unarmed. You're going to take 2 harm.
Sounds fair enough.
Yeah. And also, what is it going to do?
I think ensnare me. It's like
I think they grab you. I think they grapple you. I think that's where the disadvantage comes from. They grab you, or one of the arms grabs you while 2 other continue to pummel you. Hadog, let's come round to you at this point. Oh no, sorry, I need to go to Finn because Finn has been, initially paralyzed. So Finn, you see all this unfolding. What do you do?
I think Finn is going to try to jump to Black Gel's aid by I just see him grabbing Black Gel's foot to try to like pull him out of the embrace of the monster.
Is this Finn or the creature? Is it him or it?
I think it's. What would he do? Would he transform at this point?
You get to transform once per session.
Yeah. You know, I think the fear is not, fear doesn't trigger his transformation. It's more aggression that triggers his transformation. So I think maybe he's still in his regular form. And he's just going to give it a shot to see if he can save this crazy room from getting incorporated into this monster zombie.
And by the way, Black Gel, remember that you are currently subject to the temptation of wrath, which fits nice and neatly with that, but you would have got +1 to confront them with violence. But it would still, it would cancel out 6. So
Made no difference,
keep those temptations in mind, folks. Sorry, so Finn, it is Finn, it is him, not it.
Him, not it, yes.
Yeah. And is the objective here to break Black Gel free?
Yes.
Fine. So that sounds more, it sounds less like confront and more like face a challenge.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's have you face a challenge. It sounds like facing a challenge with steel to break free of this, to break him free, to maybe hit the arm that's got him and give him a chance to get away. I'm not aware of any advantage or disadvantage, so I think it's just the 2 dice.
Okay, 2 with steel.
I saw one move. I didn't see the other one move.
I didn't see the other one move. Yes.
No, I saw.
Oh, you're right. I didn't do
it.
it. 4. Okay, so let me just roll the other one. I didn't click it correctly. It's still a 2. Okay, so it's a 7 then.
Oh, a 7. Well, that's all right then, isn't it? So you do it, but the fate chooses 1. You mark harm doing it. I think that it is you get some of the flailing, so mark 2 harm.
Okay.
As a consequence of this, but Black Gel is free. Haddock. Other groans were described as being out there in the mist somewhere, and you know we're at dusk because this gradual solar eclipse is going to take a little while just for narrative reasons, story reasons. You can't just have the light go out, so it's dusk. In the mist, visibility is now very poor. There are groans and shambling sounds from further away. What do you do, Kadok?
What yes, Kadok is mounted. I forgot that, but thank you for reminding me of things I actually should know about myself. No, I am on a horse, which is great because right now, did we the zombie that had menaced, I think, Black Gel and had bitten Finn, right? Finn,
flailed at him. I don't know if he's. We don't know if this is contagious.
Yeah. Okay. It had hit him anyway, so I'll just run it down with my horse and my sword because why not? That's what
Fine. So you charge it. So this is confront. We've got many limbed, and it has no obvious weak point in terms of chopping its head off or thrusting through its heart. So which of those are you aiming at trying to get rid of at this point, so you could actually humble this thing?
We had many limbed, and what was the other one? I'm sorry.
No obvious vital organ.
Oh, I'm chopping into it, and I think no obvious vital organ. We'll find a vital organ here.
Yes, fine. That sounds like steel. So confront with steel.
Yep. Okay.
I don't think there's any advantage or disadvantage in play.
On a horse.
If you use the spear, you're at advantage.
Yeah, use the spear, you're at advantage.
Yeah, then I'll use the spear. Because that thing seems to be on foot, right? Let's go. Yeah, okay. Finally something I can do. Wow. I've got a 14.
Yeah, that advantage turned a 10 into a 12. Who'd have thought it? So so that goes as well as it could be. So on 7+, what defense that defense is a raise. So Does this involve bits of it kind of being kind of burst open and apart and ceases to function?
I think it's kind of pinned to the ground, and then when it flails around, you can see that there's something in there that's trying to protect, right? So you can see that there is actually a center when it tries to scramble away from the spear that pinned it to the ground.
Okay. And I think then on 7+, I get to choose, or it gets to choose. I think it inflicts harm on you. I think that as you come in, because it's so not natural, the spear bursts through it, but it comes up the spear at you and swipes at you and would do 2 harm, but I think your mail will help, won't it?
Yeah. Yeah, then I would only take 1 harm. I can take 1 harm. I'm still dying, but 1 harm I can take.
Oh, I'd forgotten about that. Yeah. Wow. Arriving in the middle of a fracas may not have been the best tactical error decision. But on a 10+, you also choose 1.
I know.
Deflect their attack and take -1 harm.
No.
Force them to where you gain advantage. Now, that would be describing pinning them down somewhere.
Yeah, I
if
think
you want to do that.
I think
or
that's
draw
actually
all threats menacing something to you.
I'm still dying. You know what? I'll take advantage.
Fine. So where do you pin this thing? Against a door, against a bit of building, into the ground. What do I see?
Yeah, into the ground. I think I run it into the ground
and you leave the spear.
Yeah.
Fine. Let's go back round to Solinus. At this point, then, Solinus, all of this chaos is erupting everywhere. It's getting darker by the moment. Visibility is shrinking, down to feet rather than yards. What are you going to do?
Well, there are more of them. I can hear in the mist, right?
Yeah, shambling about out there.
I've
got a better idea. They're going.
Clicking. Yeah, I like that. I am going to look for a place of safety, because if there are more of these things in the mist, and this, I'm going to try and find us somewhere that we can retreat to or defend.
Fine. Is this about convincing someone to open a door, or about trying to get up onto a roof? What have you got in mind? Do you want to look about you to see what there is, or do you want to go straight to a solution?
Yeah, because running around a door, I think I'd like to look about us to find a way to lose them. Like to put cover between us and whatever noises there are in the mist and loop around, rather than have a moment with our to ourselves, rather than like when breaking into the hall or anything. So yeah, I'll look about me plus sense.
Okay, roll plus sense.
Yep. Just bring up the dice room. I accidentally shut it. Da-da. Oof, that's terrible. That's a 3.
Remember, you can always help yourself.
Yeah, I will help myself.
And this time, though, I have to ask you, which of your, because I think you have 2 patrons in play at the minute, don't you? Or is it
I owe a debt to the old gods for my time with Finn,
as well as the Christ God. So where do you direct your plea for aid here?
I think it has to be the Christ God, because I think this is about once upon a time, Solomon sort of turned their back on someone like Bedok. Would have just seen them at best as an opportunity to steal from them, or someone to be ignored. Whereas this whole helping people thing,
and I think that there is no question that your kind of criminal background as a rogue, as an outlaw, that certainly puts you in a good place to look for a place of safety.
Always know where the exits are. Yeah,
exactly. So I think owe the Christ God a debt, and re-roll 1 or both of those die.
I mean, both of them surely, right? 1 and 2 is the second worst dice you can get. That's better. That's a 10 overall.
Oh, that's a 10. Okay, so on a 10, on 7+, choose 1. And on 10 plus, roll with advantage if you then act on the answer you received or the detail that was added. So
Yeah.
you can ask me
Stop.
where it is.
Stop. Sorry, a point. You've got some temptations that affect that, Will.
Oh,
Oh,
you have,
you're right.
you have.
Sorry,
Yeah.
my friend.
-2
you
to look
have.
about me, but plus
But you
one.
get +1 from your other one.
Yeah, so a 9 rather than a 10. So just a 7 plus.
Oh, what a shame. Okay.
Yeah, what a
Thank
shame.
you, Paul. Thank you,
Yeah.
Paul. So yes, on a 7 plus, choose one of those. Ask me a question, or give yourself an answer, really.
What I think I see, I work out, is that all of the noises are coming from one direction and scattered through the mists, and that there is a ditch, quite a steep ditch that runs off in another direction. And if we were to, we could use that ditch to escape through the mists once, you know, apart from on top of us.
Can I kind of pin you down here?
Yeah.
There is a sense in which there is a mountain pass not very far away from the village.
Yeah.
Maybe the village is in a valley with a pass at the top of it. It's in the shadow of that pass.
Yeah, why don't I?
Is
why don't
that where the groans are coming from?
They're coming out of the mountain pass?
Or is it the treacherous forest?
Yeah, I think they're coming out of the mountain pass, and that the treacherous forest that lies on the other side of the village is perhaps our potential escape route. You know, does that work?
Who wouldn't hide in a treacherous forest?
Perhaps. In fact, it's not the treacherous. It's not a ditch. It is the we have a grower, right, who grows tends to oak trees, right? So is the the path through the tended areas of the village into the treacherous forest beyond is and I will point and I'll say, there's too many of them in the mist. We must flee to the woods.
So solidness is in motion. Black gel. What do you do?
This thing is now, it's not dead, is it? It's pinned to the floor.
It's pinned to the ground. It still has plenty of limbs. So it's trying to lever itself up. Maybe with two hands, it's trying to climb up this spear that it's impaled to the ground on.
I'm going to whack it. I'm going to try and get rid of because it's the limbs now is the weakness, isn't it?
It is. That is what you need to overcome. So many limbed, again, physical kind of just go in at it.
That's fair enough, because I'm even on the die with steel now, because our temptation raises it by 1. Is there an advantage in play?
There is, because Caddock put it at a disadvantage. So I think, yeah, it's pinned to the ground.
Very well, I will throw 3 dice then. That's good. That's 10. That's what we want.
That is what you want. So are you literally kind of hacking limbs away from this thing?
Yeah.
Just as a squirming mess.
Because we know it's put together. I mean, a knife, I wouldn't normally sort of dismember people with a knife, not very quickly, but these do come away quite easily.
Okay, so 7 plus. That defense is
10 plus.
Yeah, I'll come to 10 plus.
Okay.
But on a 7 plus, that defense is erased, as you describe what that looks like. But the threat chooses 1. They inflict harm on you. They force disadvantage on you. They take an opportunity to flee. I think that while you're getting in close to saw these bits apart, again, I think you're going to take harm. But I think I'm going to inflict 1 harm, because I think that's it's really rather disadvantaged here. So I'll inflict 1 harm on you, and then on a 10 plus, you choose which of those 4 bullet points in the move you want. Deflect their attack and take -1 harm. Force them to where you gain advantage. Well, draw all threats. Sacrifice an item of gear and block their attack so no harm reaches you or what you protect.
It would be rude to not pass on an advantage. So I will,
Before you do that, remember at this point, you will have rendered it subject to humble them. So, it will require somebody to stay and humble them with advantage. because the
yeah,
advantage is going to relate to them. So I just
no,
want
no,
to
no, no, no. I want to pass the advantage on to somebody else, but I mean, it helps with humbling, doesn't it? Mechanically,
It does.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we're not all cowards that are just going to run off. So I will take one more harm,
even if that's the rational thing to do. So put them at a disadvantage. I think you certainly have. So Solinus is saying, "Follow me." Black Gel
kill
has
it,
hacked it,
kill it, kill
hacked
it.
this thing. Paddock has charged through past it into the mist and is wheeling about. Finn is closest to this thing pinned to the ground. Finn, do you follow Solinus? Do you take the advantage Black Gel has provided and humble it, hoping perhaps to end it? Or do you just follow Solinus or do something else?
I think we're in too close, Black Gel and I, to just run from it. So I think I'll have to take that advantage and attack.
I'm now you never have a weapon. It's whatever you happen to pick up at the time, isn't it? So what do you pick up? I have to say I quite like it to be one of its limbs.
Well, that's what I was thinking. Did it lose one of the limbs? Can I use one of those?
Oh yeah. So you were going to try and humble it with its own limb.
That's right.
So that sounds like steel to me. That kind of physical humbling. So you're rolling with advantage. So 3 dice, take the top 2, add steel.
Where did I put that? Okay, that did it.
You lot are either rolling 10 pluses or nothing at all.
Or nothing at all.
There's no middle ground to be had. So so you have successfully humbled this thing. Now it's difficult to imagine. I mean, it's a supernatural thing rather than a person, but do you spare this supernatural threat? Or do you end it?
No, I think I end it. I think I
so
smack it with the arm and all of its pieces like just combobulate and they fall apart.
Fine.
It disincorporates.
But on a 10 plus, the fate says what they give you out of gratitude or what you can take from them or their mortal earthly remains. Describe it, add it to your playbook. Actually, I'd quite like to give you that choice. It's a weapon or shield, and I don't think that narratively works. Or it's a charm or trophy. Or an insight.
I want to say it's some kind of artifact that was at the center of the flesh, that when the flesh all falls apart, that artifact falls out. And
because I think Caddock said there was something in the center that it was trying to protect. Yeah. And I'd like to suggest that when you finish beating this thing to a pulp, but that whatever passed for its central chest cavity kind of collapses, it bursts open. Inside, there is an acorn.
An acorn.
Right? So mark that acorn as a trophy somewhere on your sheet. And that trophy confers advantage once when you convince me it's relevant.
I will. Okay.
Caddock, you've wheeled around, you can hear more of these kind of in the mist. It's still just dusk. It's going to take a long time to get through this solar eclipse, I'm convinced. But Solon is shouting, this way, this way, this way. And Finn and Black Gel have just finished off the thing and are looking at Solinus. What are you going to do, Caddock?
Is Finn still in Finn form or in
Finn is still him, not it.
Okay, and he's been kind of injured, right?
I think he took a bit of a knock.
Yeah.
Yeah, so 3 of us have been injured.
Oh, okay. I think I will ride up, and I mean Finn is fit, so I will ride up to Black Gel and offer him a hand. So if he wants to, he can. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. But let this. I'll look at my arm where it's raked me. I'll say, "This is terrible. I've seen this aboard a ship. the limb wasting disease. I've seen it before. Within time, if you're damaged by it, your limbs fall off. That's what's caused the creature. It's limbs that fall off people.
It's not catching, is it?
I believe it is. Yes,
Oh.
we've limited time. If not,
Oh.
it will happen to us.
Okay.
I think I've complicated things by telling an
Yes.
uncomfortable truth.
You've
Yes,
told an
you
uncomfortable
have.
truth. Time will tell if it is in fact a truth, but it's too good a truth to ignore.
Well, I think God wants me to save this fool because I've heard somewhere God loves fools and children, so I will do what God wants me to do, clearly, and risk my limbs too far off. Maybe it will be my head and all this bit over, then that would also be fine. Come on.
We must find the evil and expunge
Yeah,
it.
we will.
And-
Come on. For now, come on.
Let's go.
Horse, and
Finn,
let's go.
keep
Yes.
So that is the point, I think, where we see you disappearing into the mist.
Yeah.
And that's where we'll take our first break. So let's take 15 minutes. Back in our seats about 17 minutes past. I'll see you then. So I think when we come back from the commercial break, we find our happy band of heroes on the edge of this menacing forest. But the threat you've avoided. So whatever's going on in the settlement, you know, that kind of that clicking noise, whatever it is, whatever those things are, you've got a breathing space. And I'm very happy for you use that breathing space to kind of deal with some temptations, to deal with some, you know, difficult wounds, whatever you want to do. We can have some moments here if you want to, rather than kind of just rolling on with the action, because this is a pause in the action. So Kadak, I'm going to come to you first because you are still in rather a poor way.
Yeah,
It seems to me.
yes, that is true.
So you have two of your 4 dying boxes marked.
Yes.
The only way to get rid of those is by way of a move.
Mhm.
So how do you want to come at that, or if you want to come at that?
I think right now, I have an idea because Blackjaw was wounded, right? So I have the balm of God, and I don't want his arm to fall off precisely. So I will attempt to. I mean, God is not very happy with me, but
Yeah, I mean,
but it's not. It's Blackjaw, right? It's not
God
me.
is wondering whether the cash to spend a debt here to make life difficult for you. But I think God is going to hold off for a little while.
Thank you, thank you, God, because this is not for me. This is for Blackjaw, right? If I wanted to heal me, I mean, probably come down like a ton of church bricks, but
Okay, so lay hands on the
Blackjaw, if Blackjaw is amenable.
Blackjaw
like-
up for that?
Oh, the wound. See what you can do. See what you can do.
That's
I don't want the mushrooms growing again.
Roll plus soul.
I'll hesitate a little at the again, but you know, okay, fine. I'm rolling plus soul. See how that goes. It does not. I cannot roll.
Dear.
No.
Okay,
No.
6 plus.
Yeah.
Okay, you still get to choose one,
Right.
but you accept that which you have healed unto yourself.
Oh, that's fine because I have an idea for a storyteller anyway. So.
So you're going to clear dying, because that means you would mark a dying.
Hmm?
You can clear black gels dying,
Yes.
as long as you mark a dying.
Cool. That means that I die. No, I'm
No. You've got a bit of headroom yet.
I've got a 1. Yeah. Well, anyway.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. So you can
Yep.
clear dying black gel. And again, we've seen this in passing, an actual laying on of hands, but I think you laid hands on yourself last time, is my recollection.
No,
so
I
what
think
happens when you lay hands on this kind of scoring wound on his arm?
I mean, I know I did lay hands on Finn and used the advantage I had from the relic, but the relic is still there. and I will still use it. I will not invoke. Oh, wait, there's probably a patron saint of mushrooms, right? Or of overcoming mushrooms. And I will say that Saint. No, it's not Saint Fungus, but something like
Fungus is awesome.
Saint Fungus is awesome, right? So maybe Caddock has misunderstood something. His Latin isn't too good, so he will invoke Saint Fungus to
Saint Fungus of the Mycelium.
Yes,
it's spot on.
indeed.
Now you could clear a wounded if you accepted a wounded. But I think Black Joe is saying he doesn't want you to push the boat that far out.
I still choose one, and I'm clearing dying, right?
Okay,
or
fine.
So I can't do both.
Fair
That's
enough.
part of the move.
I noticed Solinus and Caddock. Caddock is really, what state are you in now, Caddock? Because presumably, as those wounds disappeared from black gel, they appeared on your arm.
Well, the good thing is I'm wearing armor, and it's kind of dark leather, so you don't really see the bloodstains
from underneath. Okay.
But I think you can see I mean, Caddock is badly wounded anyway, and I think you can see that he starts to reel as he tries to stand up after doing this with black gel. And also, I'm pretty sure that Finn's senses will pick up the smell of fresh blood on him.
Let me go next to Caddock then, who is also has dying marked. Caddock, Solinus, I beg your pardon, has dying marked. What, if anything, do you want to do about that?
I mean, looking at it, it seems as though the only real ways to do anything about it is to invoke these powers that neither of us that I'm not very good at because of the favor position is quite low. So I don't really want to repeat that. You know, technically it'd be quite. But I think it would be I think that actually, like, Solinus didn't interact with the rest of them until we were in the village, and we saw each other in the mist, and then it all kicked off. And he's going to put a hand out on Caddock's shoulder as Caddock maybe like reels, back kind of thing. And my friend, I'm so happy to see you. I set out for the monastery, but the mists, they drew me back here. But God must have set me on a path to be there in your time of need.
Yeah, that's it's good that you're here, my friend Solinus. I'm glad to see you again.
What I meant to say was, in my time, I good to see you in what is this village's time of need. In my time, you're always with your strong arm. The sword of God itself is on our side, and we will prevail. Caddock, you are if I had to face this on my own without you, I don't know what would happen. And I think I'd like to. I'm doing the seeking solace move.
You are. It sounds like you're addressing your longing, your need for a connection.
And I think that what it is as well is that Caddock's badly injured, right? But he's in all this armor, and he's such a he's the sword of God. He's so
he's a rock.
And I imagine that Caddock is not one, is the sort of person to kind of like minimize it, might be injured, might be feeling the effects of all these things, but is going to grit their teeth, right? And therefore, I think Solinus perhaps doesn't want to see, doesn't believe, doesn't suspect maybe that he's winded. He'll get his breath back. It's fine. Yeah.
So let's have you seek solace then.
That is on
soul.
Soul, my best stat. Watch this be another fair. I don't think I've succeeded on a solace move yet. Oh, but this time it's a 10.
Well, what do you know?
Yeah.
So on 7+, clear the temptation. So clear longing.
Yeah.
And on a 7 to 9, recognize. Oh, sorry. So so you don't end up owing their god a debt.
Yeah.
If it was a different one. So no downside for that at all. So you've cleared that temptation, which might give you a bit of headroom in terms of favor. I don't know. But let me go next to, I think probably I should go to Finn next. Finn, what do we see you
Finn's
doing
eating,
in
I
this
think.
kind of pause?
So seek solace is only to remove a temptation. That's the
It is.
mechanic of it, right?
It is.
All right. So
It
I don't
is.
really have any that are removable at the moment. So
Well, you can still have a moment.
You
yes,
did
I can
have
still
a
have a moment.
uh,
I have a burden, which is
But you can't.
unmovable, unshakable, I think. And there's no move for healing of any sort other than those special moves that they've got.
There should be, in as much as in the arriving and leaving, there is an opportunity to throw yourself on the mercy of your god,
Right.
which I need to kind of make a bit clearer. It's applicable elsewhere. So throw yourself on the mercy of your gods and roll plus favor.
Oh, is that and that's a healing move?
That's a healing move. And I will move it now to where it makes more sense, because it should be in the common moves. Though I'm running out of space in the common moves, it must be said.
All right. I think, though, that Finn is still terrified of the undead, this whole undead reality. So I think he's going to go to one of his friends, one of the Christian ones, to see if he can get some. I think he's looking for solace, even though I don't need it mechanically. I don't know if I need to roll for it. Or actually, maybe he'll go to Black Gel, because Black Gel said that he knew what was going on, right? What was it? The limb wasting disease. And so maybe Finn is like tending to his own wounds, and then approaches Black Gel and says, "Black Gel, were these from beyond the grave?"
what I know of this is when limbs fall off people, somehow they're collected or they scatter away, and that thing we faced is the consequence of lost limbs of people. It would not surprise me if when we do speak to the villagers, they're missing limbs. Something has caused this, something evil, some necromancer maybe. I've seen it on a ship, but do you think we were just and right to go into this village?
They needed help, but oh God. Finn's looking more scared than he was before. After
I'm just
speaking to
thinking
Black Gel.
maybe we should have
Left them to their
thought
fate.
about it. I don't think much. I act on my emotions, but I'm not too sure that was the right thing to do. And we have suffered. And if time passes, we could end up like that. I do not wish that on anyone. Well,
Flee?
apart from my mother, she wasn't a nice woman.
Maybe we should flee. Maybe this is too much for us.
No. What's happened to us, Finn? We cannot undo it now. We must defeat the evil. You must face. If only what courage I had back there, I could impart on you, my friend. That is not my way normally. But I've seen you fight evil before. You can do it, my friend. You can rip them limb from limb from limb from limb from limb. I know this. You can do it.
I can do it, Black Gel. I can.
Yes, my friend. We can. We can defeat the evil. I do believe it is. Yes.
Is this? Oh, I'm seeking solace from Black Joe.
And
well-
also, I am seeking solace from you.
Yeah, I mean, there is no reason for Finn to seek solace on the grounds he doesn't have a temptation at the moment, unless you want to take a temptation, reduce the debt that you owe your gods, and then seek solace.
Oh yeah, is there
See
a
what I mean?
fear temptation? Oops, am I muted?
So
no.
currently, you owe the old gods one. Yeah,
One. Yeah.
one debt. You could clear that one debt by accepting a temptation to run alongside your burden, and then you could use this conversation to try to clear that temptation.
Okay, it makes
You
sense
with me?
narratively that it would be fear. That I
Okay,
would take.
yeah, fine. So take, mark, select fear, and
I've
let's see
selected
how
fear.
that goes from your point of view, and then we'll do the flip side for Black Gel. So roll plus soul, Finn.
Okay. It's 6 plus 2 is 8.
So you clear that temptation, that conversation just sorts out your fear. But on a 7 to 9, recognize the wise counsel they have provided and honor their heritage by owing their gods a debt. So you now owe Woden the Allfather a debt,
Okay.
which
That's
won't
interesting.
bother with favor unless you start asking him for things.
All right.
Yeah.
Woden
And
the
how does
Allfather
that
of
go from Black Shell's point of view? Is this is addressing this wrath he's feeling? Am I right, or is there?
No,
more to
it
this
is
than
the
I think?
wrath.
Fine. So let's have you roll plus soul.
I have 1 in soul, so that's not bad. And for some reason, I only rolled 1 dice. So let's have the second dice. 10. Winner.
Chicken dinner.
Zombie dinner.
So clear the temptation, and there is no downside to that. So that's good as it gets. So clear wrath. Let's go back round to anyone looking to do anything else about these wounds, because I still notice Caddock is in trouble.
Yes.
I just wanted to clarify. My move says, I think it's the same as Balm of God, clear dying or clear one condition.
Yeah.
Mine says clear dying or erase 2 harm. I'm not clear on what the difference is between clearing dying and erasing 2 harm. Surely if I'm erasing 2 harm, then dying is a harm box, right? So what's the
you clear dying, so all the dying boxes go. Or if they're, or alternatively, you clear 2 of the wearied wounded boxes.
I see. I mean, that's what I was hoping you would say. Sabine, what would you prefer? Because I personally think it's much more dramatic if we wait for that last dying box to get ticked in something, but I'm happy to do it if you're
I think if I tick the last one, then I am actually dead. I'm not sure. Or have to do the dying move thingy, right?
Yeah, on the basis of previous feedback, I have created a face judgment move.
Yeah.
But you are rolling with favor.
Yeah, exactly. So please clear dying. If
Okay.
I mean, let's Caddock get dead, but I think this might be the last opportunity to use that move on him.
Then maybe frame it as I think did PbtA perhaps run off this direction as well?
PbtA is there with you, yeah, because
Okay.
he was looking for a way out of this terrible situation, and he's kind of crouched just over there, looking terrified.
Line cannibalism. We could have eaten him.
I think
Please don't.
maybe Caddock stumbles, like we finally see that as a
yeah, that's probably, I mean, he tries to get up and then you just can't really. Says probably something, I think I should catch my breath a little.
Rest, friend, rest.
Yeah.
I will
and then almost certainly the blood running out from under your jerkin.
Yeah.
I think the real sign is like your grip loosens on your weapon, right? and I say, like, I push it back into your hand and I hold it clasped, and I say, we need the sword of God now more than ever, Caddoc. Pray with me, brother.
Yes.
And I will try and use my gift. Watch me roll snake eyes.
Let's see how much God hates me.
Yeah.
Okay, so Solinus, you are rolling plus favor, presumably
Yes.
with the Christ God.
Yeah, which is at a -2. So
Well, you know, if you want, oh no, it's -2 with the old gods as well. So it
Yeah.
doesn't matter who you ask.
doesn't
You might as
matter
well
who.
stick with.
Yeah. And that's a fail.
Of course it is.
Okay, so
The worst.
on a 6-, expect the worst.
Okay. We already did the transfer of harm, didn't we? So it feels a bit pat to.
I think that's with the move and not with the gift, right? The transfer of harm.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I'd be
Yeah,
happy.
that's the move. That doesn't happen with the gift.
Yeah. Is there any way I can improve that roll? Not really, is there? 'Cause
You can always help yourself.
Yeah.
Can somebody else help? Because I
Uh,
noticed that Jose just asked.
It's tricky when you're invoking your gift to see how narratively anyone else could have an influence on
It's
that.
a fellow Christian and we're praying.
I'll go with that. If Caddoc wants to be the person who helps, it will roll plus soul if you're invoking faith here.
I will try that. Sure, it could go
Yeah,
wrong, huh?
I will listen to that.
I
Your
will
sword of
pray
God
with
is,
Solinus and will accept my fate, whatever it should be.
Both your hands around the cross of the sword.
Yes. Let's see how that goes. No, still only a 5.
But you,
Holy Mother of God.
you can invoke your calling in this role, because my calling is rogue, so it's hard to invoke it on that gift. But you are God of God, right? So like you could invoke it, boost it, and then you would at least heal.
I can try that.
There's always a way to get there. It's just what you're prepared to pay for it.
I'm paying all of the things.
Okay. You are a sort of God. You know, God is supposed to help you.
Wow.
So I owe your patron a debt.
Yeah, I mean,
and re-roll one or both of those dice.
I will re-roll both of them because
I think that's probably fair given they're 1 and 2.
Yeah, and then it's a 9. So
7 to 9. So on 7+, their outcome improves by 1 step. So fail becomes success. So you successfully invoke your gift. You expose yourself to any danger, risk, or consequence they face. But I'm not sure there's much of that on a 7 to 9. I choose 1 when you invoke your gift. So clear death, dying, that's done.
Nice.
On 7+, they empower your gift, owe them a debt, or mark 1 harm. Yeah. And the 7 to 9, I choose 1. You attract unwelcome attention. Your gift has a broader effect than you had desired. Your gift takes more from you than you had expected. I think given how much in the bad books Caddoc is with God, this is a grudging gift. And so I think he takes energy and concentration from you, Solinus. So you will be at disadvantage as a consequence of this. Does that seem fair?
That seems more than fair, yeah. I'm obviously also shaken by seeing Caddoc fall, a figure who I viewed as a holy warrior, right? Like everything that Solinus aspires to be, really, in some ways, a man of God.
Well, you have helped me, and I will. I think I feel a lot better after that, and I will say to you, Solinus, my faith has been drummed into me since I was born. It's not like I feel sometimes I never had any real choice. But you, my friend, you made that choice. I think that is because that is why you're so much stronger in it than I.
Fine words, my friend, but I fear. Well, I'll take the compliment. I'll take the compliment. I'm glad that you're with us still, Caddoc. May God keep you there at my side in its time.
I mean, I'm curious, Solinus. You cleared longing, a desire to make a connection with Caddoc, but you still have covetous. What does
Yeah.
this tell us about your motive for wanting to be like Caddoc?
I desire that faith. I desire what, like it is a, I like that he almost looks disbelieving at Caddoc's words, like cynical about it, because he's like, oh yeah, I chose this. Did I choose this, or did God choose it for me?
And do I want this, or do I just want the horse and the shield?
Yeah, why does Caddoc have a horse and a shield and a and such an iron faith when all I have are doubts and yeah.
Does anybody else want another scene with someone else? Or are we Black Gel?
I would like to speak to our NPC, please.
Okay, can I'll put that on the shelf. I just want to check whether anyone's in the game of seeking any solace again, or whether we've kind of drawn a line at this point. Caddoc?
Seeking solace.
You currently have pride and longing.
I know. I don't feel very proud though. It's weird because I mean, kind of get hammered all the time. So yeah.
But that pride was why you kept going. Why you didn't say, I'm in trouble, help me.
Yeah, that's very true.
That's feeding your ego.
Yeah, it's true. That is true. So I think that the scene that I had with Solomon, where I told him that his faith was stronger than mine, might qualify, right?
That might. Do you want to address pride or longing?
No,
does that make a connection?
I do have to keep pride
Oh,
because I have to I have
yeah.
to clear pride last because that's what my playbook tells me.
It does.
But I yearn to make a connection. I mean, do I want to clear that? I mean, that's actually what keeps me around these people and keeps me open. So, and I don't really want to roll again and miss again and face the consequences again. So I won't. I'm fine with longing for connection, even though probably God doesn't want me to have that anyway. Who cares?
I think God thinks lessons are being learned. Here. So let's go to Black Gel then, going over to poor old Bedo the outcast over there. What's that conversation look like? It's this frightened, huddled,
What is going on in the village? Why were you being pursued?
The mists came, the stench came, and then those things started coming at night, and now it is eternal night.
When? How long ago? How many moons? How many days?
What just days. Our Lord is doing nothing. He just hides in his hall. And I have nowhere to go.
That's okay, my friend.
Please don't send me back. Please don't send me back.
No, I won't send you back. You can come with me into the forest. I would like to convince him to come into the dark forest.
I'd do anything to get back at them.
What did they do to you?
They asked me out. But they're just nasty to me all the time.
What do you actually do in the village?
I think they won't let me do anything. There's lots of things I could do, but they won't let me. But yes, I'll come with you. I'll show them.
Good, my friend, good.
So I think fear is drifted away and bitter is displayed in full glory. And I think Solinus, because you suggested going here, I think you hold the debt that Caicaester owes you in the shape of Bedo.
Okay.
Yeah, because I think you did save him. There's no question about that. I mean, Black Gel and Finn maybe did the work, but getting him out of the village is down to you. So I think you can hold it.
Cool.
So what are we going to do then?
Can we Jose made a good point. Should we create an insight from the first scene?
Oh, you should. I mean, to be honest, I sketched one in based on black
Yeah.
gel. The
Yeah.
creatures are formed of the limbs of bodies of the dead,
Right.
or formed from the bodies of the dead.
I remember that I have actually a move that might be useful, like the ancient learning, because eclipse and zombies and mists and stuff like that, that might be something that has maybe more
Relevance.
order, right?
Let's do that thing.
Okay.
Ancient learning.
I'm
This is
rolling.
roll plus sense, I think.
Yes, I roll plus sense. That's nice. Let's see. Yeah, well, it's 4 or 5. No. Nope.
Does anyone want to help poor old Caddock? Because Caddock is really getting kicked when he's down.
Yeah.
I will help.
Oh, thank you.
So what form does that help take, Black Gel?
I remember some of this when I was on the boat. The sun disappeared and the mist rolled in. Yes, I remember it well, Caddock. I remember it well.
There is a story somewhere in my youth. I was taught this story about someone on a boat and the mist and the sun. That this phrase somehow seems to remind me. Now I wait for the outcome of your roll before I continue.
Black Gel, roll plus sense, I think, because you're trying to make common sense at work here, aren't you?
Well, you've asked the right idiot then. 11.
11?
Well, I rolled 8 and I've got +3 in sense.
Wow, so you have. I'd forgotten you put one into there. Okay, so on a 10 plus, gee whiz. On a 10 plus, on 7 plus, the outcome improves by 1 and there's no downside for Black Gel, whatever happens next. So you improve from fail to success, Caddock, which is no bad thing.
Yeah, but
But it's never a simple success for you, is it?
No, it's never. I have to complete a task in order to gain the knowledge I desire.
I think the task you need to complete is you need to understand where the acorn that Finn took from the body, you need to find a source of acorns.
Okay.
And that's quite tricky given it's the autumn.
Is it? That's when you find acorns and
Oh, is it? Oh, damn. Then you have to find the specific acorns that Finn has, because they're large acorns.
If only I had someone with a very good sense of smell at my, well, that I could ask for that.
Special acorns.
Special acorns.
This acorn is the size of a fist.
Yeah. So I say it has something to do with the trees. I remember that it was about the wood that the boat was made from. The source, something about finding the source. Finn, you found an acorn, right? Do you think you can find the tree that acorn belonged to? Because I think we might find something there. And something about that tree, but I can't.
And Finn has been like kind of pondering and mulling over this acorn for quite some time since he withdrew it from the slimy mess. He's been cleaning it off of blood and sinew and stuff. And
do you want to look about you to see in respect of this acorn?
I was thinking about using my gift.
Fine. Works for me.
So I think Finn says to Caddock, "Give me a moment, my friend, and I will meditate on this. I think I'm on the verge of seeing something about this acorn." And so I think with the gift, maybe I do taste it. That's not a bad one. Looking, smelling, and the gift I roll with favor. Is that correct?
You do. You roll. It's on gifts and temptations. Invoke your power. Roll plus favor.
And so I think we see kind of Finn's eyes rolling back in his head as he's holding this, maybe up to his mouth, maybe up to his face, anyways, to be really close to it. And maybe it's dark, so there's like a faint shimmer that begins to arise around him, and then we'll see what happens. Find the roll. Oh, that's good. That's a 13.
Wow. So 7+, it empowers your gift, owe them a debt. And I think,
So oh my God, the debt.
yeah. And I think that when you unleash your sight on this, you see that it is not just an acorn. That it is an acorn embodying the vitality of an oak and the strength of granite. And that seems to be what powered those creatures, or that creature you took it from.
Mm-hmm.
So Caddock, I think if you could find the source of these great oak acorns, that would give you an insight.
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
That has to be one of the oak trees that we saw coming in, right?
Well, let's find that out.
Yeah.
But so yeah, I think the site shows you that there are characteristics of this around vitality and strength. The vitality of growth and the strength of stone. Yeah. And I think, to be honest, that is an insight, Finn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I think if you want to write down, put your name in and say, you know, the vitality of growth and the strength of stone, that could be a useful insight to take away from this. And you'll get another one if you can find where these are growing.
Mm-hmm.
Is there something with the gift on a 10+?
Oh, yes, there is. On 10+, choose one. Your gift continues to have this effect for a further action, has a broader effect that even you had hoped would hope for, or leave someone something in that seemed disadvantage. What I'd like to suggest is that it has a broader effect than even you had hoped for. And maybe what you see are two strands, one green and growing, one grey and solid. The green and growing leads into the menacing forest, and the grey and brittle, almost crystalline, heads in the opposite direction towards the high mountain pass.
Mountain pass.
Yeah?
Yeah, sounds good.
So you have a thread, you have a string to pull on towards where this energy, this growing energy, is coming from.
I grab Caddock's arm and say, I can see it. I can see where we must go.
Okay.
This way.
Then lead the way. Then lead the way.
Quick
So,
question.
Finn, go ahead.
Quick question. I have an insight from a few settlements back. It's like an undefined insight. How does that work? Do I just like claim it at any given time?
At any time. At any time.
Okay, so I'll just keep it in the back of my head and then I just claim it at any time. Okay.
And maybe it will, you know, when everything else is in place, you bang in your final insight. Yeah. Because I've set the depth of the shadow here at 5. So it's a deeper shadow than the ones you've encountered so far. So you're gonna need 5 insights just to break even on a revelation. So Finn, you are taking the lead following this. So it seems to me that you are relying on your faith in this path that's laid out, that your sight is revealing to you at this point. So as you enter a menacing place, I need you to avoid the consequence here. Menace risks a sense of fear. So I need you to roll with soul to avoid being sucked into the menace of this place. Because, you know, our eclipse is still, you know, still not quite complete, but the thick canopy is blotting out most of the light, and you're kind of just following this through this misty, putrid Yeah. So
Yes, green thread, yeah. But only I can see.
Only you can see, and everyone else is following on behind you. So I think that this is just to check my location move. This is yeah. So roll to face a challenge using soul to avoid being sucked into the fear this place is
That
just
is
awash with.
9 + 2 is 11, right? Yeah, 11.
That will do.
That will do.
That's fine. That's fine. Yeah. No, that you don't kind of disappear into the slough of despond. But
Black Joe's pep talk was really, really good.
But the other thing you have to deal with is whatever potential for an insight there is in this forest, which could well be Cadoc's. You have to deal with the fact that then there is the howling of wolves in the forest, because the threat here are creatures of the wild wood. Yeah. So we then engage with the second location move, location place. How do we see you trying to avoid this threat of wolves, Finn, while at the same time staying on the trail of this source of life energy?
All right, so we hear the wolves in the distance, I think Finn checks the wind and is going to try to follow the thread while still staying downwind of the pack.
Okay. That sounds like a cunning plan to me.
Okay.
So I'll offer you sense or subtle.
I think I'll take subtle.
Okay, cunning plan it is. Roll plus cunning, and we'll see how well this goes.
The flat roll for me. Not mistaken. It's a 10.
Oh my goodness me. So on a 10,
Gotta
choose
share this
two.
with Sabine.
On a 10, choose 2 of these options. You find the insight that Cadoc has set you in search of, or you find an opportunity to reach that insight, which will require some kind of challenge, or you avoid the wolves. Which 2 do you want? And I'm very happy for you to poll the table if you don't want to kind of take all that responsibility, but it's up to
Sure,
you.
what do you guys think? It might be fun to encounter the wolves, but
yeah, we've all just stopped dying. Yeah, let's look at that.
But we don't need to do that.
Maybe you can make friends with the wolves. Who knows? You could try to challenge their leader and have a pack. You can change once per session, right? Not once per mystery, but once per session. So
yeah. So what were the first 2? That one was finding what we were looking
insight.
for.
You find the insight that Cadoc can then describe. Yeah. You find an opportunity to find that insight, which will be there'll be some kind of challenge or obstacle to get to it. And then the third option is avoid the wolves. And
So
why would you take 2 over 1?
Right. I'm confused about 1 and 2.
You have 2.
But yeah, why would you take...
I'd be surprised if you did. You know,
so we could just take
plus, things go as well as you like, don't they?
All right, so I could just take the first one. We get it, absolutely. And we avoid the wolves. So
fine.
I think the point is that on a 7 to 9 you choose one, but the second option is a worse version of the first option, and no matter what success you roll, it's just like
no one's ever going to choose the second one.
You know, it's not a consequence; it's a benefit that you choose, but it's not as good as the other benefit you could choose. But anyway.
So no, on a 10 plus, that is the obvious choice, to get the insight and avoid the threat. And so Cadoc, Finn has led you to the place where this insight is to be found. describe what you find when you follow this spirit site of Finn's that somehow ties into acorns and boats and trees and life energy. You know, what do you want to find, Caddock?
I think what I find is actually the memory of the ancient lesson that I learned. That is, yeah, because the thing is, I learned that under an oak tree. That's why I had to come here to remember the lesson. That's why this is. And also the thing is that let me think. How do we tie oak tree, mist, and eclipse together? I think yeah, there's
For what
something
it's
about
worth,
I know what it is.
Okay.
People buried under oak trees. When there is an eclipse, and these are then sometimes a necromancer might have an easier time calling them from their graves.
Fine.
Right? So
Fine.
that let me check the other insights we have so that I can make sure that this makes any kind of sense. I apologize. I had a fly the last two nights in my room. I didn't get a lot of sleep, so that's why I'm a little bit frazzled. Yeah, but I think it's easier to during an eclipse. It's easy to call up the dead from beneath the oak trees if you're a necromancer or otherwise nefarious person.
Well, what about something broad like the dead walk in the dark? Because what our outcast told us was that this was happening at night, and now it's eternal night.
Yeah, the dead walk in the dark. Yes, that's good.
Yeah, because you can spin that any which way. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. And I think that kind of horrific declaration by Caddock brings us to our second commercial break. And shall we be back in our seats about 10 past the hour? See you then. So we come back from our commercial break to find Caddock having had this kind of this insight based on the ancient learnings of his order, having been led deep into the forest by Finn. And there, I think I'd like to introduce Teleri, the proud grower, who I think we said was responsible for, maintaining the oak trees. Technically, maintaining the oak trees in the avenue. But we know there are oak trees in this forest. It's an oak wood. And so I think I want to introduce our proud grower. Black Gel. What do you do when Teleri kind of comes out of the undergrowth?
I will jump to my feet and start shouting, "It's a walking tree! It's a walking tree!"
And she is as surprised to find you as you are to find her. Does anyone step in to calm her? I'm looking probably at well, I don't know, Caddock, are you much of a calmer?
I am not as much of a calmer, but when he calls
it's
a walking tree, I will grab my sword and stand up and say, "Declare yourself tree," or something to that effect.
Finn, you've tended to be, the thoughtful monster. What do you do when, Black Gel sees this walking tree stroke woman?
He turns to the woman. He says, "Pay no attention to him, my lady."
Oh, I am no lady. I am, but my name is Teleri. I look after the trees.
This tree here, and
all the trees. All the trees. It is my purpose in life.
And then he raises the acorn and says, "Have you seen an acorn like this one before, Teleri?"
Would you face a challenge, Jose, Finn, with sense, I think?
That is a -1 for me. So it's a 7 minus 1 is a 6.
I don't think it's an opportunity for anyone to help at this point. She turns and runs into the forest.
Oh no, I scared her off.
Can we stop her from running off? I mean, she might still be in
You
a tree
can
or
chase
something.
her. Caddock, do you leap into the saddle and chase after her through the
Yeah, I mean,
oak woodland?
I have a horse, so I don't want to run
do.
her down or anything, but I think I might be able to just yell at her to stop. We want to
Well,
talk to her.
I guess what I'm after here is, are you
Yeah.
trying to convince her to stop, or are you going to stop her?
I convince her with extreme prejudice, I guess. I mean, I am on my horse, I'm yelling at her. She will probably realize that I can catch her. So it's more of a threat than it is just like, hey, please stand. But I don't know.
I think
You
that's
tell
roll
me.
plus subtle.
Yeah, I was afraid you'd say that. Okay. You know what? I haven't rolled a failure in a while now. And now I have, see?
You see, I never said a word. You brought that on yourself.
No, I didn't.
So expect the worst. The shouting attracts the wolves. So a wolf leaps out of the undergrowth at you, Cadog, and the rest of the pack are on the rest of you. Does anyone ignore the wolves and chase after Teleri? Black Gel chases into the woodland. If in doubt, go off on your own in a misty, dark woodland during an eclipse. So, Cadog, this wolf just comes at you. You don't have much opportunity apart from to try to avoid it doing you some harm. So let's have you face a challenge to avoid it doing you some harm.
I'm super not good at I would do that with steel, however, right?
You would.
Cool. No, I'm taking these two. Maybe that would. Can I roll something other than a 4? Maybe
the dice are your own to do with as you will, of course. You know, feel free to use the green ones. They seem to be working fine. So yeah, that doesn't go well.
No, that doesn't go well.
So you are going to take 2 harm, though your male will take 1 of those.
Oh yeah.
So
Okay.
wearied or wounded.
No, I'm still. Did we clear harm for the? No, we didn't have a night of safe and peaceful rest. So I'm still at dying again. I'm at dying.
Oh,
I'm
dying
again. Yay!
You know, wounds open. Real. You know, you really do need to do some work with God. You know, you need a really serious performance management meeting with God.
Yeah, I think I do.
So I'll go next to Solinus. Solinus, you're quick-witted. What do you do?
I mean, Caddock's, you know, being attacked, right? So,
but there are wolves all around you.
Oh, okay. I mean, I was imagining them as having, you know, where the shouting and I guess because Batgel was shouting as well, wasn't he? So yeah, and he's disappeared now. I will fire my bow at them. One question is the eternal monster of the week tag thing. My bow is far.
It is.
Right. Can I? What does that mean in terms of confronting
during an eclipse in an oak wood?
Yeah,
it's close. Really.
Okay.
Yeah. Sure. So you have a chance to take them down without them getting to you necessarily. Now they have 2 defenses, strength in numbers, and agile and resilient. Which one do you want to have a crack at?
I think it's strength in numbers. I'm going to thin the pack with a flurry of arrows.
This is either sense or steel, so it's picking your targets or just putting, you know, a shower of arrows out there. What do we see?
I think it is about you know, because there's dense woods, right? So I think it's about the ability to, you know, see movement and then just
pick your targets.
Yeah.
So roll plus sense to confront them.
That is a 8.
Okay, so on 7+, you thin the herd, so strength in numbers goes.
Mhm.
And I choose. I can't inflict harm on you because you've got range on me. I think they force disadvantage on you because you have to keep stumbling back to keep that distance.
Yeah.
Seem reasonable?
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of them bursts through the trees and like is pinned between the woods, and I have to scramble backwards, firing. Yeah.
Yeah. Finn, let's come to you. What do you do?
Finn transforms. That's the first thing he does.
Fine.
And
The defense that's left is agile and resilient.
Mhm.
Shall we find out how agile and resilient they are?
Let's find out how agile it is. I mean, what I wanted to do actually was confront the alpha of the pack somehow to see. That was Sabine had mentioned that as an idea, and I really like that idea. To see if I can. So it's more of
intimidation,
but it is a confrontation, I think.
It is, I think, and it's either soul, because this sounds like threat rather than violence. Yeah.
Mhm.
So I think it's soul. It's whether you can convince him that you are the more powerful creature.
Right.
You know, even to the rest of it, that may seem obvious.
Mhm.
Can you convince him with soul? I think.
Okay. So does it use is it a convince or is it a
No, sorry.
no,
that was my mistake.
It's a confront.
You use soul to confront him, to
Okay,
to be dominant over him. Yeah. Because soul is belief in yourself and in the powers behind you.
All right. So I have a +1 to confront, I believe. But this isn't an attack, right?
Well, that's my point, really, because the beast unleashed really would apply if this is violence, you know, when
Violence,
you're
okay,
using
right.
your wear attacks, the claws, the bite,
Got it.
Yeah.
All right. So soul, which is 2 + 1, which is 3. So that's pretty good. Let me not when I say that, considering what's possible here. And I will roll.
Oh,
So
only
that's
one
8.
moved. Only the top one moved for me. Did the bottom one move? Anybody know this? Let's take the 8. Who cares?
Okay.
On a 8 plus soul is
8 plus soul is 10. No, 8
10.
plus soul and the +1 is 11. Yeah.
Okay. So on a 7 plus, agile and resilient is taken out. I choose whether they inflict harm on you, force disadvantage on you. I think that it works, and the alpha takes the opportunity to flee. I think you scare the living bejesus out of the alpha. Yeah. On a 10 plus, you also choose, well, deflect their attack and take -1 harm. Force them to where you gain advantage. Well, if you chase them, you'd be at advantage. On a 10 plus, I'm just going to leave you with advantage.
Okay.
Yeah, I think because that's the only one narratively that makes sense in that circumstance where you've frightened them off. So the wolves have gone. Solinus, Black Gel took off after Teleri into the forest. What are you going to do?
And presumably Beddo's still carrying with us, right? Like
yeah. You know, you told me I'd get something to use against the village. Now there are wolves.
Who told you something to use against the village?
Well, that madman who's taken off into the forest on his own.
And I'm gonna grab him and haul him up against the tree. I'm gonna say, my friend sometimes gets confused, but you're very confusing yourself, aren't you? You want something to use against the village when it's being attacked by these monsters.
I'm owed. I'm owed.
What are you owed, my friend? Tell me.
I'm owed revenge. They've always treated me like shit.
And have you taken it? Is that why these creatures plague? Have you bitten off more than you can chew? You and that mad woman we saw on top of the hall.
What do you mean?
I mean, you want your revenge on those villagers. Are you taking it?
I think this is look about you
Yeah.
to get an answer to a question, isn't it?
Yeah,
Or
exactly, yeah.
judge something about him. Yeah?
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
So let's have you roll plus sense. I hope you're all ticking off attributes as you use them, by the way.
Whoops. Nope. I forgot to clear it from last time. So if we're not rolled subtle, I have rolled sense and soul. There we go. That is 7.
7. So on a 7.
I know my longing, because I had to put longing back because of my temptation rules. Is a -2, so that would be flat. That would be 5 then in the end.
Okay. Bedo runs as well.
Bedo runs as well. Yeah.
2 leads are in the wind. Cadog, you're on your horse. Teleria's gone one way. Black Gel has pursued it. Bedo has gone in a different direction. No one is yet pursuing Bedo. Are you tempted?
I'm following Black Gel because
Okay, fine.
I mean there might be other wolves, right? We scared of the pack, but he's alone. And I need to complicate things by protecting an innocent, which I think Black Gel is. So I will follow Black Gel into the dark because I can see in the wait a minute I can. But anyway,
Fine.
He probably
So-
has a lantern or something.
Cadog, you're riding into the dark.
Yes.
Yeah? Low-hanging oak beams. It's all one of those kind of rushing through the forest at pace. That leaves Finn and Solinus in the clearing from which Bedo has just run. Do either of you want to chase Bedo? Finn, you are transformed unless you want to transform back.
No, I can stay transformed. I just make a sign to Solinus like
I think so I've also just said that I actually should have used I knew someone once. That would have been the perfect time for it, but I keep forgetting to use that move. But anyway, I think that what it is Bedo runs off and the camera pans and watches it, and as it pans round, it just comes as Finn steps into view. And I think Solinus just goes looks at Finn and just nods his head.
no.
Yeah.
Finn goes after him.
Yeah.
And catches up easily, I would think.
I would think that you're at advantage. Black Gel, let's have you face a challenge. I think this is a physical challenge, so it's roll plus steel to catch up with Teleri before Caddock. Otherwise, I think Caddock on the horse, as long as Caddock stays on the horse, which tonight is no guarantee. So let's have you go, Black Gel, roll with steel.
6.
6. A wolf comes at you because that nasty smelling beast has gone the other way. A wolf comes out of the dark and is on you. Let's have you roll to face a challenge again to see where. No, I'm just going to inflict 2 harm. Yeah, because that's a 6. That's a hard move. Caddock, you can face a challenge to get there before anything else happens. Or something else can happen and then you'll arrive without a roll. What do you want to do?
Oh, I will roll. Come on, what could go wrong?
Face a challenge.
Yes.
I
What
think
would
this
I
is
use?
probably steel because this is about controlling
Yep.
the horse, isn't it? It's a war horse after all.
Yep, that seems fine. I will try that. Come on, dice roll. Be nice to me, just for once. Caddock can do this, right? No, no, this is a bad dice room. Hates me. It's a 3. I want XP on a failure. I have to say, because that way I would have been.
I don't have enough advances to satisfy you on that basis.
Yeah, that's true.
So I think you are unhorsed.
That's fair. I fall off
Yeah.
a horse.
You think you've avoided a branch and then
Mhm.
something swings back and just knocks you off the horse.
Yep.
And the horse gallops off, so you're on foot. I think that's
Yes.
a reasonable cost.
That seems fair. Yes.
Finn, you are at advantage to catch up with Bedo. So I think this is a physical steal. I think this is just pace. Roll with advantage. Oh, you are muted.
7 + 1 is 8.
8. So on an 8, you do it, but the fate chooses 1. It takes longer than you had hoped. There's quite a bit of distance between you and Solinus when this happens, yeah? But I think there's no question that you chase him down. Solinus, did you follow Finn, or are you waiting for Finn to bring Bedo back? What was the plan?
I mean, if I'm following him, it's a gentle walk, you know, like I've got
Oh,
full
it's certainly more
confidence.
gentle than the pace he took off at, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, like it's literally a stroll, you know, like
Fine.
picking up an arrow out of the ground as I go, you know, just to my cloak off. So like plenty of time for Finn to deal with whatever he wants to do in the scene, you know.
So Finn, you know, I'm imagining something a little bit like the X-Men's Beast here. You know, it's kind of bounding through this oak woodland, you know, just letting the beast unleashed. And there you can see Bedo, you know. What do we see as you catch him?
We see Finn come up behind and trip his back foot so that he collapses, tower over him, and pick him up by one leg, and then slowly start walking back to to where Solinus is.
And Black Gel, the wolf came out of nowhere, you know, bit you. What do you do?
Is it still here?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, well, I'm gonna have to fight it, aren't I?
Yes, you are. So it's on its own, so it only has agile and resilient to take out here. So what do we see? Is this a straight up wrestle with a wolf, or is there more to it?
No, I think it's draw my yeah, what have I actually got? Yeah, knife or cudgel makes no difference. So let's knife it.
Yeah, fine. So it's on top of you, and we see you trying to knife it. Let's have you roll with steel to confront.
5.
And 5.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness me. Take 2 harm. Because on a confront that is a 6-, you take harm, and they choose one from the 7+ lists, or the fate is less merciful. I think you are certainly at disadvantage.
2 harm and
Yeah.
disadvantage.
2 harm and disadvantage. Caddock, the horse has run off. You could probably, I mean, Black Gel, it's not like you to be doing this silently. What is Caddock hearing?
I think sort of a wolf. I'm making wolf sounds at the wolf.
Right. So you can hear, you know, what you will recognize as Black Gel howling at a wolf.
Okay.
What do you do, Caddock?
I howl as well, because why not? And then, but I draw my sword and I charge in to protect Black Gel, the wolf. Who knows?
Okay. So you run to help him.
Yep.
Finn, you probably will get back to where Solinus is, as Solinus is collecting his arrows. What are the pair of you going to do with Bedo, who is screaming to bring the house down? Because this is the first time he's seen you like this, or he probably doesn't even recognize that it's you. What do you do, Solinus, when he brings him back, holding him by
to
the...
Solinus? Here he is.
Yeah,
I can't talk because I'm in form.
Yeah. I pat Bedo on the face, like, and can let him go now. You won't be running again, will you, friend?
What's that thing?
That's one of my very good friends. He runs faster than you do. I will.
You just frightened me. You're just like the village.
Why do they hate you? And I'd like to look about me again, I guess.
Yeah.
But this time
I think you're at advantage.
Yeah, okay. I won't use my I knew someone once then.
Yeah. Your choice.
Yeah. I think I'll use I knew someone once, even though Finn has done a very good job of giving me advantage, just because it will let me shape this character a bit more, and I think, I mean, I admit I'm not very clear on customs of, but he reminds me of somebody who was, should I relate this perhaps to the Gwynedd, trying to be a better man, Diva killed a violent thug collecting protection money, he was abusing the weak. So yeah, I think in Gwynedd, there was a victim of this violent thug, who had everything taken from him and was, because he crossed this violent thug, and people shunned him because they were too scared to be seen showing any sort of solace to this victim. He was an outcast because he was a victim, and it was the cowardice of the rest of the village to allow this abuse to continue. Guilt, So make him more sympathetic. Yeah.
And I think probably he's the whipping boy, I think, for this village. The village believes that by being nasty to him, they can get rid of their bad luck or whatever else.
Yeah.
And he's institutionally the sin eater.
Yeah, even though no one perhaps thinks of it in that way, that's what they did behave like. Yeah.
Does that fly?
That flies.
Oh, good Lord.
I got 2 1s, but let's roll the other one. I got a 3, 5, 4. That's worse than my last roll. So that's a 4.
On. Oh yeah, it does. Yeah, sorry. Wow.
Yeah.
I'm going to put that hard move on the shelf.
Okay.
Because I can't think of any way to complicate the current situation beyond how you got to where you are.
Well, I mean, you could tell me something, but my, you can keep that hard move on the shelf. But obviously, what I've just said about him doesn't need to be true. That's just what he reminds me of.
Yeah, no, but I rather like it. It explains why he's bitter about this, because everyone just pisses on him because he's the lowest of the low, just because he is.
Yeah.
Let's go back to a wolf, black gel, and Cadoc's howling out of the woodland. Yeah.
Can I do an insight for that though?
I'll come back to you for the insight. I just don't want to leave the wolf and black gel. So Cadoc, you hear the howling, you howl yourself, you burst out onto where black gel is on the ground underneath this wolf. What do you do?
I hit the wolf. I have a sword. Have sword. Will hit wolf. Try
Fine.
not to hit black gel.
Let's hope that the new dice that I notice you put on the table are friendlier.
Let's see.
So roll with steel. I think you have advantage here because the wolf is focused on black gel.
Cool. See how that goes. Yeah. Okay. New dice.
Boxcars.
Yep. There we go. I mean, I already rolled boxcars when I was hitting things with the sword. That is, I should just play to my strength and not try to do something else. But anyway, so I hit the wolf. Yes.
And you get rid of its last defense, its agility and resilience. You have wounded it. Black gel. This means you have an opportunity to humble it.
I will.
You are though at disadvantage from last time.
Still the only thing I can do. So let's see what it's like.
I had a 10+, didn't I?
You did.
Doesn't that mean that I get to choose a thing?
Oh, you do. Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
So maybe I can force it somewhere where I want it so that at least black gel will get rid of the disadvantage, right?
Yeah, that's very fair. Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll take the 2 ordinary dice then.
6 and a 3. So, but I'm at -1 for steel, so that's still 7+.
Wrath's gone, hasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So on a 7+, you describe how you humble it. Do you spare it or you just kill it?
I think I shoo it away. Go, doggy. Go.
And it limps away bleeding from the wound that Cadog inflicted on it. Teleri has disappeared into the forest. You will need to find Teleri now, not just chase her. I'm inclined to bring you back together to see whether there is an insight coming out of this kind of combination of wolves and Teleri and Bedo. So we cut you all back together in the Oakwood, the menacing Oakwood. And I think there is an insight here. I think it's more about Bedo than about Teleri. So I guess this is Finn and Solinus. Are you seeing an insight that comes out of this scene? Because it must be said, Blackgel and Caddock didn't really lead anywhere constructive.
So is there much point meeting up then?
Well,
Just describe the insight, and we'll continue to find her.
Well, it's just I'm looking at the clock, and I'm not certain if you're going to find her before. So, okay, let's do the insight, and then I'll come back to you. Fair enough.
That sounds good to me. What would you say, Jose? I would say maybe that I don't know. What did we learn about Bedo there? That the villagers.
Or what did you learn about events
Yeah.
related to what's gone on?
I'm not sure.
We just learned that he's a scapegoat for all the troubles of the village, right?
Yeah, which I think would be a way of incorporating that, right? In that, like, they didn't investigate or look because of the I don't know. I'm almost. I think if I'd succeeded, I probably would have said, but I didn't succeed. If I'd succeeded, I probably would have said that, like, the reason that he's been turned into the scapegoat is that he's a bastard son of the Lord. You know, like that there's some sort of reason why he's the lowest class person. This is all laid upon, you know, or he was born under an eclipse. Maybe, I don't know, something like that.
Well,
I like this born during the eclipse a lot better, because that leaves us open to tie this into some mythical stuff, because we've usually had some social, the real monsters, the humans here a lot. And I would like to have some, I mean, we had zombies, right? So there has to be something a bit meatier than, oh, this outcast.
Yeah, I would be 100% up for some, you know, just what we're talking about. I'd be 100% up for some sort of like eldritch power or fae or whatever, you know, like something more than just a sinister person. So yeah, let's say that.
Or maybe the village needed a scapegoat. For whatever reason, they needed a scapegoat.
Hold all their darkness.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a really general one, because then you can link anything into that.
Yeah. The village has a tradition of a scapegoat. Yeah. I'll write that in.
Oh, go on. You do your stuff.
I'll need to narrate a terrible thing at some point.
Oh, yes, you do. You do. I keep forgetting about your terrible things. So yeah, narrate me a terrible thing right now, right here.
Okay.
You know, as we see Bedo, we see Solinus, we see you looking at Bedo, and there's that slight look in the eyes of the beast.
Yeah.
Why is he looking like that?
I think we see like the camera opens on like this dark jostling of bodies stomping around through mud in dim torchlight, and then the camera pulls up and it reveals it's like a crowd of villagers surrounding a middle-aged woman in torn clothes, and someone says, "Kill her before she can birth more demons," and they're lifting pitchforks and picking up rocks, and then some kind of unseen force pushes through the crowd and it parts like water, and Finn stumbles into the center and stands tall to confront them. And he says, "Leave her, it's really me you want." And the crowd hesitates a little bit and kind of pulls back slightly, like a wave preparing to crash. And they say, "Kill them both." And the rocks start flying, and one hits the woman brutally in the head, and she falls to the ground, and Finn crouches down over her body, her limp body. And then he looks over his shoulder at the crowd, and there's that old burning red eye thing, and the screen goes black, and you would just hear the sound of screams.
Yes.
Thank you for that terrible thing. Let
Terrible
us,
thing, number 42.
number 42, yes. We've got about quarter of an hour, so I think, yes, Paul, we probably can have you and Caddock try and find Teleri.
Yeah.
Are you thinking of find the path here?
I was just going to look at me for traps, but I mean, mechanically it would be great to get the sort of god to look for traps, because then it would tick the last sense box for Thingme, and then if we find them, I could convince them and tick my last box for Soul. But not wanting to mechanically play it a bit, I'm
You
I'm
are
more than
incorrigible.
I'm more than happy to yes, the true path when the
No,
way is
I
unclear.
I shouldn't lead. How do you want to find Teleri?
Yeah,
Between the pair
let's
of you?
yeah, let's use my gift. I don't use it very often, so yeah, the true path.
Okay, so
Maybe we'll get something better than just something else.
So this is roll plus favor
Yeah.
with Woden the Allfather. What's that? How's that looking at the minute?
That's pretty good. I've got 1.
Okay, so roll plus 1.
+11. There we go.
Those are the dice to be using. So on a 7+, they empower your gift, owe them a debt. On a 10+, you choose 1. Your gift continues to have its effect for a further action, has a broader effect than even you would hope for, or leaves something in the scene at disadvantage. Which of those do you want?
Well, I don't want to leave Caddock at disadvantage.
Thank
I
you.
didn't think so.
Thank you.
Let's carry that forwards. An advantage to roll to speak to her would probably be handy.
Mhm.
Okay. So what, you want to place Teleri at disadvantage? So you're going to surprise her?
Yeah. I mean, I want to speak to her. I don't.
Yeah.
This is not like fall upon her with
but you
swords
you
and
just
spears.
she thinks she's safe.
Yep. Aha! We found you.
Exactly.
But don't
exactly.
run. Don't run. We only want to talk.
And that is, I think, what happens. The true path is revealed to you. You make your way through the forest. You find her panting, leaning against a tree, thinking she's got away, and then she hasn't. And that's where her disadvantage comes from. So, Caddock, Black Gel has led you to Teleri. What approach do you take at this point?
I will tell her there are wolves in the forest. You've heard them, maybe. We may be a lot of things, but we're not wolves and we won't eat you.
The wolves won't hurt me. I am of the forest.
Oh, well, the hares are of the forest too, and wolves eat them. So I wouldn't be too sure about that.
But that man, he had that thing.
Oh, yes, that man had that thing. Can you be a bit more unclear, please?
If you remember, the reason she ran was when Finn said, "Do you know anything about this fist-sized acorn?"
Yeah.
And she ran at that point.
Okay, in that case, I will say he had the acorn that was in the center of that monstrosity. And we have been brought here by God to figure out what this is and to protect you, if we can at all, from these things.
And I think when you tell her that he took it from the center of one of these monsters, she kind of goes, "Oh no, what have I done?"
That is an interesting question. Maybe you can tell us.
Well, I think that's your insight.
Mm-hmm.
What has Teleri done?
Ooh.
Or even Teleri has done a bad thing or a stupid thing or a thing. Because I think that's the insight at this point. Does that seem reasonable? So, Caddock, do you want to add something to that effect into the list of insights? I don't know how you want to phrase it, but I think the insight is that Teleri is somehow involved in this.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe next time you can unpack how she's involved, but I think that's the insight as it currently stands.
I will write something in here. Okay, I'll just say Teleria's done something bad because that's what she said. So
Yes, yes. And on that, I think that kind of, oh, what have I done, is where I think we cut the credits. Quick stars and wishes would be appreciated as always. So in the order I can see you, Jose, any stars, any wishes?
Sure, stars. Will, thank you for the zombie angle. That was a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun, and it continues to be a lot of fun. Star for the zombies. Sabine, stars for I love the fact that you're rolling so poorly and that your god hates you, and that you're this wonderful tragic figure of a paladin. That's awesome. Paul, the limb wasting disease was my star for you. That was awesome and continues to be awesome. And Alan, I'm just loving the way you're voicing the NPCs. Father Boniface was particularly threatening and stern, so I really liked him.
Well, he's threatening anyway, and once God embodies him, he's really scary.
He's super scary. Yes. No particular wishes. I had a great time today.
Okay. Paul, any stars, any wishes?
Will's zombie angle, very, very good. I love the description of the trees that Sabine first brought to it, and the leaning into the terrible amount of debts to God. When you're up so high and the dice rolls weren't in your favor there at all, Sabine, but you rolled on through, and that was the good thing. And Jose for the little interpersonal scene, I thought that really worked very well, and you didn't actually really have to go into it. You didn't actually have a temptation, but you did anyway, and sort of generated a temptation. That was just really nice. Alan, good, different from I think the other ones we've done. We haven't actually even gone into the hall, and I think that's a good thing. I think we were getting a little bit sort of hall fatigue. You didn't force us in there, so that was good. Lovely.
Sabine, any stars, any wishes?
yeah, lots of stars. I had some good fun. I was a little overly tired. That's why I was not as attentive as I could have been. I apologize, but I really loved the whole interpersonal scenes that the people had with each other and that I had with Solanus. Well, I really loved Solanus's take on Caddock. I really liked that. I liked the zombie thing. That was great. I liked zombies and trees and the eclipse and all the mist. That is very cool. And all these NPCs wandering about and having done terrible things, or maybe not. Who knows? We'll see. So I like the monster, the intertwined limbs. That was appropriately creepy. And I think we can't explain that away with, oh no, it was all an intrigue by some villagers. I absolutely adore that. So yeah, and Alan, as usual, is a star to you for rolling with all of that. I will not star the dice room today. Because I had the same thing yesterday, and I thought maybe karma will change, right? No, maybe I just should keep to my strength and hit things and be gruff, right? And
any wishes?
Yeah, I would like to have another scene with Finn next time. Just saying, for complicated stuff. And other than that, I'd like to have an actual big bad, right? Not a kind of creepy priest that we just have to shout at, but something that is really bad. And I also would wish that I would get to humble something and not just hit it, and then somebody else gets to humble
somebody else gets to humble it. Yeah. You do all the work and somebody gets the credit.
Yes. Yeah.
Paul, did I ask you if you had any wishes? I don't think I did.
No, you didn't. I'd actually like something that's got a threat's weakness. You just it's a move on, look about you, and it's actually not being usable yet. You just tell us what the threats are, and it's like, Sweet.
Yeah.
Could link in with
Will-
the big bad.
Yeah, exactly. Will, any stars, any wishes?
Yeah, I really enjoyed the whole setup this time. It's something different. One of my previous wishes was something different from the setup we had been having, and this was pretty much in line with what I wanted it to be. Which I think previously I've gone earlier in the pick choice, and I felt like I'm dictating too much of it by immediately, and the other questions are better for the raiders are coming out of the burning building. That's how you know, but that sort of thing. I really enjoyed the body horror of the many-limbed creature. I'm imagining anyone who's played Dead Space is what I'm imagining, basically. I don't recommend if you're not fond of horror, playing that game. It's terrifying. But yeah, I really enjoyed that Caddock is our big meat shield, but because in this game, the meat shield just basically takes one less harm due to having armor. And is usually going to come out on the better side of it. They still get pretty messed up, so I enjoyed all of that, and I really enjoyed the exchange. Everyone's catching our breath. And I enjoy there just being this threat out there, like back towards the village. There's more of these things, right? Who knows what they're doing back at the village? I think one of my wishes would be some of that betrayed in some way as we go forwards. The fact that we did leave that village, there were overwhelming numbers, and they're barricaded in, but that's got to have some sort of consequence, right? Or escalating scene at some point. I think I really enjoy that this ties in with Black Gel's Prince from a Foreign Land backstory, which is something I'm always glad to see. And I loved Finn wolfing out and turning in and chasing down Bedo. I think what's occurred to me just now is that, as a long-term wish, I think I would like to have I would like us to do one. I know we declare and define everything, but I would like to think about maybe having something thematically or story-wise connected with our shape changer, our skin changes. Just because that's quite a weird character to be running around with. It's an extreme version. It's a werewolf, right? And it's connected to the old gods and maybe the Fae and blah blah blah. And I think we dealt with your connection to the animal world with the wolves here, right? But I'd love to see something in some way connected to that thing. Oh, and I am also very much looking forward to a supernatural beastie threat phenomenon rather than a man-made one. I think going to the hall pushes us into the man-made one.
It does. Fair point. Yeah, and so stars, I think, to the way that you took the prompt in a different direction, simply by me saying, do you go to the hall or do you go to the village? And I think that's probably the way to play it, is that, where do you want this inciting incident to be? And once you've got that, then that reframes any which way. But I think you came up with some really nice signs and portents at the start that gives plenty to work with. And, who doesn't want some kind of undead body horror creature in the mist, during an eclipse? So stars all around for that, So thank you for all of that. We will just do end of session experience before I forget, because I had forgotten. So let's have a look at Black Gel. You didn't invoke your calling, but you certainly complicated things by telling an uncomfortable truth, and you addressed a challenge several times with rationality. So that's two XP for you. So I think that fills and gives you an overflow, I think. So give some thought to which your next improvement is going to be, your next advance is going to be. I think, yes, Solinus, I remember you helping yourself by invoking your calling.
Mm-hmm.
We need to find more opportunities for you to cheat and steal in a good cause.
Yeah, I mean, that is a very domestic, that's the more set within people, right? But just due to the way that the turn orders worked in previous sessions, it's not come up really as a thing. But yeah, I'll mark the 2. I think I gesture challenge with Guile by leading us away from rather than into the combat, trying to find out.
I agree. So that gives you 2, which I think fills the track and gives you a bit of overflow. Yeah. And then Caddock, you invoked your calling. You did indeed confront a threat to the innocent.
Yeah.
In the freight, you know, you could have hung about, but you went after Black Gel because he's
and that
he's
was
clearly too innocent to be allowed out on his own.
Yeah, I mean,
know?
I like him, so
yeah, I think innocent is a new way of describing Black Gel, but I'll go with that.
Yeah.
And you certainly were courageous, you know, continuing under difficult circumstances, to say the least. So you can have all three of those. And then Jose for Finn. Hang on, I just need to move you across a bit. There we go. I
didn't help myself.
You didn't.
I mean, I didn't. I got good rolls. I didn't need to help myself.
And we need to think of opportunities for your longing to complicate things.
Right. I've been trying to put it in, but it doesn't really complicate things. That's the complicating piece. It's harder.
I think that if you can narrate a way that links longing to -2 to look about you.
Oh, okay.
That is complicating things, yeah. So don't think simply narratively. Think about how it impacts on the mechanic, because you know if you can narrate a connection between that temptation and its impact, that's good enough for me. Yeah,
sounds good.
So
also complicate things by convincing them because of your longing that still could complicate. You could have a success and make things more complicated.
Yeah, it could. You know, make a connection. Yeah, with in stupid circumstances or with people that you really shouldn't want to.
Okay, I'll find someone to long for. That's really inappropriate.
Who stabs you when you get close to them, you know, that kind of longing. Okay. Story game, power gaming. Okay, that was great, folks. Thank you very much. I've run over, so I'm going to let you go. Many thanks. I'll see you next time. Bye now.
See you. Bye.
It's 1 minute, Alan. It's fine.
still counts. Bye now.
Give permission to record, etc. I'm sure we all do. But...
Oh yes, thank you.
And thank you.
Yes, fine to record.
Yeah, fine with the recording.